Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Brainbean here again, back with another keyboard video for you. Now, today we're going to be taking a look at a keyboard that I've actually already reviewed on the channel. Now, this is something I've never done before on this channel, but what we're going to be doing is just revisiting a new limited edition color option for Cooler Master's increasingly popular low-profile mechanical keyboard line, the SK lineup. So this is going to be available in both the SK630 and 650 keyboards. Now, because I've already reviewed this keyboard, I'm just going to be mainly focusing on the aesthetic changes. But for those of you that haven't seen that original video, I'm going to cut out that part of the old video and add it on to the end of this one to make your life easier. So if you want to learn everything there is to know about it, just stick it out throughout the entire video and that'll all be there for you. But for those of you that have seen that video already, feel free to click off after you've seen all of the new stuff here. I won't hold it against you, but of course, I'd love for you to stick around and watch the whole thing. But with that, let's go ahead and take a look at the new limited edition white version of the SK630 and 650 keyboards. Like I mentioned in the intro, the only real difference with this version is the color, so let's take a look at the cosmetic differences. Looking at the two boards side by side, you may notice that not only are the keycaps different colors, but the backplates are as well. The black version's brushed aluminum backplate has a smoky gunmetal color, while the white has a bright silver finish. Not only is this a nice choice cosmetically, but it also serves to accentuate the RGB lighting. The silver finish acts as a sort of mirror, reflecting more light up at the user, and when you pair this with the white keycaps, which will naturally catch more light and bounce them around the keyboard, you get a much bolder lighting experience than you would with the black version. I also think the white version will make a more enticing mechanical keyboard option for those who want to move away from something like an Apple keyboard but still keep a similar aesthetic. Cooler Master's SK line has a nice elegance to its design that I think pairs exceptionally well with the clean white and silver color option. The simple palette mixed with the clean lines of the board just makes for an exceptionally beautiful keyboard. Starting off as always with construction and design, the SK630 is a low-profile 10-keyless mechanical keyboard. It also has a full-size variant, the SK650, that's going to come in a little bit more expensive at $20 more. And keep in mind that the flickering you're seeing is just from the camera and is not visible to the human eye when using the keyboard. By now, even with the few clips that you've seen, it's hard not to notice that this is a gorgeous keyboard. The super simplistic design looks ultra clean, and the brushed aluminum top plate gives it a classy elegance that I think will make this board look right at home in both gaming and office settings alike. As for the construction, the board is very lightweight, and as a result has quite a bit of flex when really cranking down on the board. However, this shouldn't really be much of an issue under normal use. Aesthetically, this is one of the nicest looking boards that I've ever seen. I know I've already said this, and not to sound too much like a broken record, but it's just so clean. There's nothing on this board that doesn't need to be there, and the angular designs created by the keycaps and the bright, vibrant lighting bouncing off of the backplate just create a really gorgeous ensemble. Speaking of the lighting, the SK630 uses Cherry MX low-profile RGB switches for a full per-key 16.8 million color RGB experience. The keyboard can be completely controlled without the use of software. Now you can change the lights and set up macros all on the fly on the board, or you can download and use Cooler Master's Portal software application, which will allow you to fine-tune the macros and select from a whopping 22 different preset lighting effects. You can of course also create your own profiles that you can save to the keyboard as well. The software, like the keyboard, is clean and simple, and it's extremely intuitive. I appreciate the large amount of lighting presets, especially there's some newer ones that are pretty fresh and unique, and I also appreciate that it's really easy to layer up to 4 effects. The SK series also features a subtle but visually striking LED light strip around the board. I love this because most RGB elements like this are just so in your face, and this wraparound lighting is just a soft, minimized accent that goes back to that classy design. The SK series uses Cherry MX low-profile RGB red switches, which in my opinion look a little bit brighter than their full-size counterparts. I think this is just because the lights have to permeate less plastic, bringing the LEDs a little bit closer to the shell of the Switch. The switches themselves have a nice smooth linear feel, and I think they have a little bit less key wobble than the full-size version as well. The low profile switches have a 45 gram actuation force, 1.2mm actuation distance, and a 3.2mm total travel for about a 30% less distance overall than the full-size Cherry MX Red switches. And just like any other Cherry switch, these do have a 50 million keystroke lifespan. And of course, I wouldn't leave you guys hanging without a sound test, so here's a quick sound test of the low-profile Cherry MX Red switch on the SK630. The keycaps are made of ABS plastic and they have a nice, clean, simple font. I really like the half-height design of the caps because it really allows for the lights to pop, which traditionally is difficult to do on a low-profile keyboard. Also, all of the characters are well illuminated, which is always a plus. The keycaps are very slightly contoured, which is going to take some getting used to. The angular keycaps may look really nice, but unless you're used to typing on flat keys, they might not feel so nice to use right out of the gate. Now, after using the keyboard for quite a few hours, this was less of an issue, but it's still something that I wanted to point out. The SK630 is a great keyboard for home and office use, or even throwing into a laptop bag and working on the go. It has a braided USB-C cable that is removable for transport, which is always appreciated, and they also include a nice cloth bag that you can slide the board into to help keep it a little bit more safe on the go. Cooler Master also continues to give us a wired keycap puller, which is much better than those cheap plastic ones that can scratch up your keycaps. Because of its minimalistic design, I really wasn't expecting the SK630 to be bursting at the seams with features. You do get the standard media controls via the function key, and it does have full N key rollover, but seeing the inclusion of these extras really goes a long way in my book, and it shows that Cooler Master understands what extras should come with the keyboard. Overall, the SK line is gorgeous and functionally excellent. It's a combination of quality components and thoughtful design that was clearly done by somebody that appreciates keyboards. The only real negatives I have with this board are the flat keycaps just really aren't my favorite, and the thin nature of the board does make it feel a little bit less solid than a conventional mechanical keyboard. Still, these minor gripes aside, the SK630 is a real positive step for Cooler Master, who's been really putting out great boards over the last few years. The boards do come with a price to match, however, with the SK630 costing $120 and the SK650 costing $140. But if you're looking for a keyboard that can be right at home in either a gaming or an office setup, or even one that you can bring back and forth between the two, then I think the SK series is definitely worth taking a look at. Well, that's it for the review, guys. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think about this limited edition white version. And of course, give this video a like if you enjoyed it to show your support. If you're new here on the channel, I've actually got some really cool stuff coming up in the next couple of videos. So if you like this sort of thing and you like the way I'm presenting it to you, I'd love to see you stick around because I've got some really cool keyboards coming up in the next few videos. You can also follow me on Twitter at Brainbean Gaming to stay up to date with what's going on with the channel, as well as all my giveaway announcements. But as always, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.